Hi, welcome to the Recovery Daily podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And here is my loving daughter. Say your name.
Bailey Miller.
We have different last names now.
Yeah,
because I got hitched. So today we're in the kitchen and we have very poor light. And Bailey is
I'm making pumpkin seeds.
she's making pumpkin seeds.
And I'm currently separating the seeds from the guts.
Yeah. So she came to visit me. And that's because today was our big 5K walk. And you lifetime listeners or listeners who've just been listening for like 2 days know that I was participating in a 5K for mental health. And my goal was to walk a mile. Did we do it?
We did do it.
We did it. And Bailey also had another goal that even though feeling sick, she achieved as well, which was what?
I wanted to walk the beginning with her and then run the rest of it. And by golly, I did it.
She did it, even though she was sick. She felt terrible, but she did it.
I did do it.
So what we're going to do is we're going to just talk about how our day was. We're going to talk about how the walk was. We want to talk a little bit about Live4Lane and the foundation because I really, really thought it was a lovely experience. And I wanted to have an episode that was really focused on the foundation because what they're doing is so important for the community that I am in. And they do provide scholarships for Dominion High School. So I'm going to try to talk about that. And I pulled up a little information about them on the website so that I have something to look at. And I talked to you guys in another episode. I'm going to move the camera over here. Sorry. Logistics here. Hold on one second. Logistics. I know some of you aren't even looking at the camera, at the video, that is. So I just want to talk a little bit about what the Live4Lane Foundation is while Bailey takes these seeds out of the slimy guts of her pumpkin.
And I'll give my interpretation of the day, how I felt,
the foundation. Yeah, we want to talk about our feelings and what it did for us.
Yes.
What it did for you. Okay, so off of the Live4Lane website, I just wanted to share that Lane was a young man who went to Dominion High School. I'm going to lean into the camera. You might look at my my heart monitor. You might be able to see my heart monitor a little better. So much fun. Okay. So Lane was a wonderful, beloved son and affectionate brother and caring member of the family. And he was a loyal best friend. From an early age, Lane, it became clear that he was gifted and excelled in almost everything that he did. And it was seemingly with little effort. Lane was an honor student at Dominion High School, which is right around the corner from my house. And he played as number 63 lineman on the football team. He was an active community member, earned his Arrow of Light Boy Scout award, and played baseball for 13 seasons. In all that he did, Lane loved being a part of the team. Music was an outlet and something Lane used to express himself. At the age of 11, he became a self-taught guitarist. Does that remind you of somebody?
My brother.
It reminds me of him as well. So Lane was a friend and always reached out to those who needed it most. Lane packed PB&J sandwiches for almost 5 years in grammar school, but asked if he could pack a nut-free lunch for the rest of the year. His mom later learned that this was not because the classic sandwich became dated, but because he wanted to sit next to a student that had an allergy and he didn't want them to feel alone. Somebody who was sitting alone. You know who that reminds me of? You. Yeah, that's something you would have done. Lane, and probably still do. Lane is an incredible spirit with such a fire in his heart and taken from us far too soon after his battle with mental illness. They lost Lane tragically in 2019 at the age of 15. So the advocating work that we do each day in the Live4Lane Foundation will make a needed difference in reducing the mental health stigma. Our actions, both big and small, provide the space to continue to prioritize mental health as health. Lane's story is not over, and his legacy will live on in us all. So the mission of the Live4Lane Foundation is to increase community mental health resources through educational scholarships for Dominion high school students. The Live4Lane Foundation aims to recognize active mental health advocates among the high school students. So there's a lot of information on their website, which is live4lane.org. And so I just happened to run across this 5K in my neighborhood newsletter in the Cascades Current is what it's called. It's brilliant. And I decided, you know, this is right down my alley as far as wanting to be an advocate for mental health, because mental health has been a big deal for me throughout my life. And as I got sober and now dealing with all of the health issues that I have. I mean, I'm a pretty healthy person. I just happen to have a stroke. So I may be walking around with a heart monitor on, but I'm still skipping around. You know, I'm not, well, until my head hurts and then I stop skipping. So it's a big deal, and I wanted to reach out and see if I could partner up with them. And easy enough, I sponsored them as a bronze sponsor. And I was able to put my little cards out on their resources table. And that felt pretty good to know that I can be a resource for people that are struggling. That is the reason, Bailey, why I do this podcast, is the reason, because I want anybody who might just have an inkling of suffering or feeling like they're alone and don't know where to turn to, can just be online, Googling, and run across one of these and be like, oh yeah, me too, me too.
I actually have people from my school someone that I was very close with, actually, who I found out was like dealt with like drug misuse or abusing it. And she reached out to me and she said that she found this podcast and that she'd really enjoy listening to it. So
oh, really?
it could really reach anyone.
Huh. You didn't tell me that.
I must have slipped my mind.
Oh, that's it. So she listens to this podcast? Oh, love you, whoever you are.
I think she might still.
We won't say your name, then we don't do that in this. We only say Bailey's name. That's the only name I think I'm allowed to say still, except for Autumn and Boris. I don't even say your brother's name yet.
Well, until
I haven't been given permission.
Until he comes on here, then
yeah.
He will.
Okay, so what did we do? We showed up there at 8 o'clock. It started at 8:30. No, they were handing out shirts and registration at 8:30. So we showed up and we went to the food truck and we had some amazing paninis with the Cupcake Mafia. The Cupcake Mafia.
Shout out to Cupcake Mafia.
Yeah.
They are not sponsoring this podcast.
They aren't sponsoring this podcast, but they were amazing. I had a iced vanilla coffee and an egg, bacon, and cheese, because I'm not vegan anymore, panini on What kind of bread was that?
Texas toast.
Texas toast, which was not all buttered up and nasty. She specifically, I said, I don't want anything that's all buttered up and nasty. And she's like, I don't butter up my stuff. So it was really good. What did you have?
I had the bacon, egg, and cheese on sourdough bread. That was all I got. But I was delighted to see that they had Nightmare Before Christmas themed cupcakes, and the woman was wearing a Nightmare Before Christmas hat. And
she was?
Yeah, and they were playing Nightmare Before Christmas music. So
yeah,
that's
her favorite.
I was all over that.
And then what else were you pleasantly surprised about when you opened your panini box?
There was Doritos.
There were random free, you heard me, free Doritos.
And you got a free water bottle with each sandwich.
Yeah. So people who say nothing's free in this world, you're wrong. It is free when you order with the Cupcake Mafia. I repeat, the Cupcake Mafia. They are not sponsoring this podcast episode. Okay, so we had our really delicious breakfast. Autumn was on her best behavior, and because of that, I gave her a little bit of bacon. And this is her first bacon in 4 years, and she was so she was sitting down while I was eating my panini, and I thought, oh, she looks so cute. I'm going to give her a little piece of bacon. So I gave her a little piece of bacon, and she looked at me like I just blew her mind. So she sat back down. She's like, I was just sitting when that happened. I was just sitting. I'm going to sit again. So she sat back down, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, you're such a good girl. And she's thinking, but I'm sitting. I'm sitting. I want another one. And so I'm like, that's it, Autumn. So she backs up and sits down again. She's like, how did I sit this far away? Anyway, she ended up having about I don't know, a handful of my sandwich. After that, she was too cute. And then we went over after breakfast. Who came? So Bailey and can I say his name?
No, he's not on the podcast.
Her boyfriend.
We can't hard launch that yet.
Her boyfriend, he came, and my sissy, who I love and is always there for me. I said that to my husband tonight when I got home. I was like, my sissy is always there. She's always there. I have a lump in my throat. You're always there, sissy, and I appreciate you and love you. And then one of my loyal lifetime listeners, I'm not allowed to say her name. I know she wouldn't care, but I'm not gonna because I need written permission. She was there, and her daughter was there, who also was one of my staff members when I had a career and something to live for. I'm kidding. When I had a career, she was on my staff. So there was a whole slew of us, and I wore my Recovery Daily Podcast hat. And I know you're done. Just pretend.
That's okay. I'm fine.
She's squishing the guts of the pumpkin. And then they had a speaker who happened to be Lane's mom. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so why don't you share about how you were feeling when she started talking?
Well, I believe the father and the sister were there as well. So that made me kind of sad to see the sister, just because I am also a sister.
Little sister.
Yeah. So that was kind of sad, but it was nice.
They were brave. They were really brave standing up there talking.
And they weren't like, I'm sure probably the first year was very hard to do that, but it was their 5th year doing it, and they seemed very happy just to see everyone who came out.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice. It was very positive atmosphere.
Yeah, super positive atmosphere. And when they got around to the raffles in the end, they actually had a basket that was full of Lane's favorite things. So stuff from Trader Joe's and like Takis and all of these things, right? Yeah. It wasn't even from Trader Joe's, right? No, it was just his favorite things. Takis, Reese's Cups,
Monopoly
cards. Yeah. So it was really sweet. And what I really could relate to was when his mom was standing up there talking about all of Lane's favorite things, she stopped and looked out and said, I'm so excited to be able to share this with you. And I thought, that's really an amazing way to transfer that pain, that unimaginable pain, into something positive and be able to help him keep living his spirit of what he stood for, keep living, and make sure that his death made a difference in the lives of so many other people. Anything else you were feeling? Sorry, I totally interrupt. I do that.
No,
that's why I'm the one with the podcast,
right?
Because I don't shut up.
That's why I'm the guest. Well, I wasn't going into it. Not that anyone cares about.
Not that anyone cares
about me running it or walking it, but
oh, they care. I care, right?
Well,
yeah, we care.
I've been starting to get into running recently,
Yeah.
So I am sick. So I was just thinking maybe I would just walk a mile with my mom, and that would be good enough, and that would have been good enough because that is great. But I thought with all the positivity around me, like it's not too much to just put my sickness aside and just do it for someone else and not doing it for me. So, and when I was running it, there was like chalk messages written on the sidewalk saying like, keep going, you're doing great. And there was a whole bunch of signs with all the sponsors. So it was something to distract me, and it was fun. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. It was a lovely experience. I told Lane's mom that when we were leaving. I said this was really lovely, and I meant it.
And I want to do it next year.
Yeah. I think I would like to. So that's what I was thinking, was I would love to have a permanent relationship with the Live for Lane. Love for Lane is good too. Live for Lane Foundation. So I was thinking about reaching out and seeing what somebody like me could do. And I'm sure that I have a lot to give.
Would you want to try and be a gold sponsor one day?
I mean, if this baby goes viral and we're like making millions, I am gold, baby. I am gold. So yeah, for sure. That's why I wanted to do a podcast on it, because I really felt like it was something that, we were just talking about this yesterday, my husband and I. We don't say his name either.
He's on the podcast.
That when things that are terrible happen, it's amazing how humanity comes through, and it gets discouraging sometimes on a day-to-day basis, how we feel like we're so alone. And yet when things like the hurricane come and wipe out just entire towns, and then we have a mother who loses her child to mental health, how just people come together, and that's where humanity lives.
And I think it's not that humanity isn't there when things are all right. I think it takes these darker moments to realize the beautiful world and beautiful people out there.
It's true. I think that we find a little more beauty in ourselves that we didn't know was there.
I definitely
also
felt like I woke up this morning, I was just like, I was excited, obviously, to support you.
Right.
But being sick, I was like, I just don't want to run. There's no way I'm going to run. And then going out there, I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I think I'll actually do it. I'll enjoy myself. And it's fun to like be around people, like even if they're walking or I don't know, seeing people excited about it made me excited.
Yeah. It was really fun. Autumn had a great time. She was wonderful.
She was adorable.
Yeah.
They were giving out balls, little bouncy balls, if you signed their pledge.
Yeah, you can sign a pledge that you pledge that you're going to be a mental health advocate and spread awareness about mental health illnesses, stop the stigma.
And Autumn caught a hold of one of those balls. They were also giving out rubber ducks, and I'm a rubber duck collector.
And for those of you on video, there's your duck.
Yeah.
Right there. Stop the stigma. They were giving out ducks.
And they had a rock garden.
And there's a little sticker for your car that says, do you remember what it says? I'll have to look. You can't be a smart cookie if you have a crumbly attitude.
Ain't that the truth? But they had a rock garden where you could color on the rocks.
Yeah.
It was a whole bunch of like positive messages. I wrote cheese on it, like smiling.
I thought that she wrote cheese on it and drew a piece of cheese.
But that would have been not related.
I thought that would have been clever, is what I thought. Like cheese for smile, yet also cheese for...
I wanted to draw cheese.
I eat the cheese.
But I would have had to look up a picture of cheese.
Right.
It would have been...
We can't paint from our imagination.
Not a good drawing.
So that brings me to upcycling projects. So Bailey is she's now gutted the pumpkin and has the seeds. She's going to be washing those.
If anyone's interested in Bailey's pumpkin seed recipe, just reach out.
Yeah, I'll put it on my website.
We'll put it on the website. We'll link it down below.
Yes, she's always wanted to say that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was, my mind just blank. It's gonna come. Yeah, but there was something before that I was gonna do. It's gone. I don't know. So
are we gonna talk about Mike?
No, I wasn't gonna talk about Mike, but now that you've brought it up, we have, those little plastic face things
you can like jab into pumpkins.
Yeah, and you can make a face. So you can take a pumpkin and then you put two eyeballs, like Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, it's just like Mr. Potato Head. Only I have Mike from Monsters Inc. And I've had Mike from Monsters Inc. for like 5 or 6 years now. It's been a long time. So every year we have to go out and buy the best pumpkin that looks like Mike. And Bailey nailed it this year. She bought a green pumpkin. So I put Mike on there and it's the best Mike I've ever had. Again, I'll put that on my social media so you can see Mike. Yeah. Okay, the last thing is that I was talking to Chatty McChatterton, Chatty for short.
Do they know who Chatty is?
Yeah, they know. They're well aware. Okay. So I was talking to Chatty last night.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to laugh too, okay? So I'm going to tell them the whole thing. Okay. So I was talking to Chatty last night and I thought, okay, I've got these new neighbors that are moving in next door, right behind me on the other side of the kitchen. Mm-hmm. They're moving next door into the townhouse next door. And they have a little 3-year-old. And I thought I really want to do something special for my Halloween decorations this year. Because this little boy's moving in next door. And it's probably, moving into a new house. He doesn't know any of the kids. He doesn't know who the strange neighbors are and everything. So I thought, I'm going to make something fun for Halloween. So he gets excited. So he's like, oh, my neighbors are really cool or whatever. So I go into Chatty McChatterton. You're probably already thinking what I was doing. So I have some neighbors moving in next door. This is me typing to Chatty McChatterton. I have some neighbors moving in next door. Oh, let me read it. Actually, I'm going to read what I said if I can find. I didn't do a podcast last night, so I'm going to be sick. Let me go all the way to the bottom. Okay, we're going on it. Please hold while it's right above that. I'm looking to the side of the computer. Okay, so this is what I typed to Chatty. I said, I've got a new family moving in next door with a 3-year-old little boy. I want to I want to put out cut Halloween decorations. That was a mistype for him outside in my garden, so he feels like his home is a fun new safe place with nice neighbors. How should I decorate? Well, I did pretty well.
Yeah, but as she's typing it and like backspacing, so it doesn't sound like she's going to
I'm a creepy
harm this kid.
Yeah, like I'm a creepy neighbor that's trying to figure out how to make my little 3-year-old neighbor
little kid to like my house.
Yeah. So I thought it was possible that Chatty McChatterton was going to cancel my account, but I did pretty well. Yeah. So here's what Chatty told me. Chatty gave me like 10 different options, and one of them was to make my front garden into a pumpkin patch. Isn't that adorable? So I have, for those of you who are on camera, I have this, not on camera, on video, listening, were you posing while I was gone? I have this is the top of a table, and I've had it up in my art studio. That's what it's called now. Not my office, it's my art studio. I've had this up there for at least a year, and I didn't know what to do with it, but I kept it. So I'm going to take, sorry, folks. That was me. If you hear the barking, I made a noise and scared them. I'm gonna put this, quiet, please. Thank you. I'm gonna put this material over top of it as a background, and then I'm gonna put a sign that says, welcome to my pumpkin patch, and we're gonna put it like as a sign. And Bailey bought 15 of these little tiny pumpkins, and we're going to put them all out in the yard so the little kids in the neighborhood can come by and pick their own pumpkin. It's so adorable. So that's it. That's the idea. That was so adorable. Yeah. And I'm really excited about it. So that's what we're doing tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to paint.
Yeah.
I'm going to paint my pumpkin.
Yeah.
So again, guys, leave a comment down below what you think I should paint on the pumpkin.
You dropped a seed.
Just let me know, and we'll make sure to put it on all of our socials so you can see who the winner was.
You know what we should do? We should do a virtual joint podcast every night. Like we'll both Zoom in together.
Oh, people do that, and they have like their microphones.
Yeah.
And they're talking.
Yeah. If you could make time for me, I would totally be. I don't think she can make time for her old mom.
I just have a lot going on right now.
Okay. Any other last words on how our day went? Anything about mental health that you want to encourage folks about? Quiet dogs. I don't know if you can hear them barking, but
Autumn, no.
They think we're talking to somebody, so it's driving them crazy.
Well, this seems pretty appropriate. So, I have a leaf tattoo on the back of my arm, and the reason I got the leaf tattoo was because around the fall time, it's when I'm my happiest.
Oh.
And I tend to statistically not have as much mental issues.
Oh, okay.
Like when the winter happens, we all know winter, gets really cold and it gets dark at like 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And then into the spring, it's just not a good time for me mentally. So this is my favorite time of the year.
Oh, okay.
And
I did know it was your favorite.
Yeah.
But now the leaf makes sense. I don't know. I didn't get it fully until now.
I mean, I also just like the way it looks. It was probably
that's a cool look.
But I know what it means. It doesn't matter if anyone else knows what it means. But this is the happiest season of all, in my opinion. And it was fun to do something with my mommy that I could support her and support the charity.
Yeah.
The charity, right? Because they're raising.
I mean,
for
do you
scholarships.
Call it I don't know, foundation.
Organization.
We're not smart.
But so I just hope everyone enjoys the fall time.
Yeah, happy fall.
And this is inspiration to do some fun fall activities.
It is.
And to make someone smile.
Yeah, because it's important. Oh, I know what I was going to say about what I was going to say about upcycling. I wanted to start painting more rocks and putting them around the neighborhood to make people happy. And maybe I'll slip a little Recovery Daily podcast in there. There'll be like business cards around there'll be rocks.
Business rocks.
Yeah, business rocks. Okay, that's all we got today. Is that all you have today?
That's all I have.
Thanks for listening.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on the pod.
Thanks for joining me, and thank you for being a perfect daughter.
Thanks.
And we love you, her brother.
Yes, we do.
Thanks for listening to the Recovery Daily podcast. We'll talk to you. I will, not her. She's going back home. I'll talk to you tomorrow.